do these wonderful pie-in-the-sky things that you are proposing and placing on the table. When the then opposition JLP conceptualized the 1.5 income tax threshold initiative, we itemized a number of things. I remember vividly one of them being the oil hedge, that infamous oil hedge that the PNP had taken out. We indicated that instead of using the taxpayers' money to do that, we would be discontinuing any notion of an oil hedge and in fact use that money in order to fund in part our 1.5. So that's a classic example of how you can look at things that are currently in train and definitively say, even in opposition, what an administration formed by you would do or not do. Now, one of the things I have observed is that there's been an attempt, I saw it manifest at the press conference convened by the opposition PNP last Wednesday, is an attempt to downplay or suppress the price tag of their initiatives. You see it in the calculations with the first in the family, and you see it in the calculations with the school feeding, because all of a sudden, the following words were used by Damian Crawford David at the PNP's press conference last September. He said, the first thing we're going to do is make sure we have boarding facilities for at least 30% of our school population. And then we are going to give 1 meal per child in school. So he said that in September 2024. And then in January 2025, speaking in Southwest St. Anne, he said to comrades, on the campaign trail, I want you to remind the people that we are having an election between 1 meal per child in school and 3 meals per adult in prison. The JLP will tell you you cannot afford to give every child a meal, but when the child gets into trouble, they find 3 meals for an adult. So the commitment, the promise that was being bandied about on the campaign trail was not about 1 meal to needy students. It was about a meal to every child, but they have since walked it back because they know of the price tag. And I did the calculation and mentioned it in the Senate that Damian's price tag is 18 billion because he has now taken out everybody, and he's just only doing it for the so-called needy students. But the original price tag, the price tag to provide a meal solution at $400 for all 440,000 students in the system, based on his figures, would be a whopping $33.5 billion. So that's the strategy they are employing now. How do you respond in the minute and a half we have remaining?
So they clearly have not done the calculations, and I think that they should be huddled together doing so before they present any other plans to the people. As we deciphered earlier, Marlon, they have said that they are going to walk back a number of plans. They've not been specific, but clearly they plan to take most of it, if not all, from what they describe as the discretionary spend. They will have to tell the Jamaican people what line items they're cutting from the discretionary spend, because in addition to the things that they say that they're going to be implementing, they've also said that they're going to be discontinuing some other items, and then they're going to be reviving some stuff as well. They say that they're going to be reviving the road maintenance fund. Where will the money be coming from to capitalize the road maintenance fund? Where will the billions of dollars be taken to do that? They said that they want to reinstate the peace management initiative, despite empirical evidence stating that, it is not the best use of funds, but they said they want to revive it. Where will the funds be coming from, the billions be coming from to do that? They said that they were against the, I remember Golding's budget presentation when he was opposition spokesperson on finance. He criticized the auxiliary fee abandonments from the Ministry of Education for schools. Right? He stated that the PNP government would discontinue that because it's compromising the quality of education being offered to students. So all these things that they're going to be reinstating whilst discontinuing other things, they need to list these things and present them to the public so people can have an idea of how this will affect the quality of life that they become accustomed to under the Jamaican Labour Party government.
All right, well, thank you so much. I think that approach is deliberate on their part because they do not want to, essentially, they prefer to operate in the realm of just enticing prospective voters with nice sounding things rather than getting hung up too much on the granular details and the legitimacy of it.
And they're going to change the labeling again, Marlon. You remember when they did the last manifesto and it was criticize that this isn't what a manifesto is supposed to be. They say it wasn't a manifesto, it was a wealth plan.
So they make it up as they go along and throw around words as they see fit in very arbitrary ways.
Precisely.
All right, thank you so much for your perspectives this morning, David. Really appreciate it. That, listeners, was Mr. David Wright. Indeed, thank you so much, David. That was David Wright. He is a marketing specialist and, of course, a public affairs commentator. We are going to go to the break, and when we come back, we will field your calls here on Straight Up. The numbers to call, 876-212-9824 or 876-462-09. All right, back with you here on Straight Up. I'm Marlon Morgan, and you're tuned to News Talk 93 FM. In this segment, going up to the NPR News at 11 o'clock, we're taking your calls on 212-9824 or 462-0919. So we run straight to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Straight Up.
Morning, Senator Morgan.
Morning, Mr. July. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm not bad enough. I'm trusting we can have a conversation this morning.
Well, let me hope so, if you do care.
Very well.
Marlon.
Yes, sir.
Mr. David Wright, marketing manager, a marketing consultant.
No, I said marketing specialist, yeah.
Marketing specialist does market products.
Mm-hmm. And people are products too.
Marketing products and
people are products too.
And people, right, fine, but not finance and econ. But I notice you have him, and I'm trying very hard to make sense, but I don't think he did. By the way, I try to get somebody who understands econ. Because, some people must speak in the subject matter by which you're comfortable, and they are aware, and they are taught in, rather than the across. It doesn't make much sense. Yesterday, Miss Fiverr Williams, my friend, who from all the time I like her, humility, came to the parliament and she was just tautologically repeating what the PIOJ said.
Mm-hmm.
But have not came, the PIOJ said that our economy grows 0.1% or 0.2%.
Mm-hmm.
But has not demonstrated in a very childish way. Since you have gotten the position of finance minister, how the international world affects Jamaica? What happens in North? How it affects us?
How it affects us?
Yes, how it affects us. You have not done that.
Okay,
what she has done is that she in a belief in her back of her mind that Jamaica will continue in the 1% that they set for the next 5 years, and that's a very low mark because tourism and what you call them remittance will continue when the country to which we trade in tourism and remittance having the greatest problem today with a madman. So, what are we going to do in Jamaica to get ourselves?
I'll give you an example. Al. Last week, the tourism minister indicated that there will be visitors to Jamaica from which country? Or, well, not a country in this case.
Let me answer, because I heard you this morning, I heard you this morning with it, and I want to take you on it, but I'm glad you came up with it.
Yeah.
What is on trial here? And we don't seem to understand, because the Bible said in the last days, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh and make some people understand God. And He said also, we send upon us a strong delusion, let us believe a lie. That today the sun is shining and a man will tell you say is the moon, and we believe it. If you say that it is the flight is coming from Dubai and coming to Jamaica, and you named Emirates as the airline, and it turned out that it is true, that is on trial. It is not what you are trying to tell the public and bright man like me, that it doesn't matter whether it is the concourse plane. The fact is that the people are going to come here and that the people is going to go to Craft Market. The Craft Market people are buying out, so nobody now come there and buy nothing. That is burned down. They are going to the rich people place. So don't come here, come spend this little thing about
Oh, you're saying the people who are coming in. So this is the point you're getting to. The people who are coming in on that Condor service from Dubai via Frankfurt, Germany. They're going to rich people place. So they are not going to come out and buy any jerk chicken and red stripe beer. That's what you're asserting. No, I just want to be clear on it. Is that what you're asserting?
I don't spend their money, so I don't know what they will buy.
Oh, but why were you? You don't spend their money. So why you say what you said a while ago?
Let me tell you why I can't say what I said. In the COVID period, because show how wicked it is and selective in the people.
Yes, man, very wicked and very selective.
Nobody could have keep dance. And the coconut man never make no money, you never sorry for them. The kill man never make no money. And the peel up man never make any money. Right? There was a hotel, the big hotel when I have interest in. Well, like I said, it's a hotel that I'm really about Jamaica, I'm not going to educate me about what you know. It's a hotel no leave woman when COVID kill people. You know, give permission for the hotel to open and people go there and dance. Right to the night.
The hotel sector was virtually shut down.
The state man never make any money, Marlon.
Al, I'm going to ask you to pause a moment because I'm putting it to you, sir. Yes? That the hotel sector was largely closed down. You'll recall how that went. Bahia, Grand Bahia was literally facilitating COVID cases. One of our leading hotels was literally facilitating COVID cases because, Al, we are entitled to our own opinion, but we cannot be entitled to our own facts.
And we are not entitled to deceive the public by telling us the hotel is closed down. You have 2 hotels in Montego Bay. And when the people them go there, then when we get food, because we have family will go there. When them go there, then couldn't come out, then treat the people like slaves. When nobody near COVID. It was just a worldwide.
So you're saying COVID, nobody named COVID either. That was just a fabrication.
Let me tell you this, Marlon, my friend.
That was just a fabrication.
I personally starting to you is that anti-vax. Well, anti-vax and anti-COVID. Let me tell you something. The world today is waking up to the truth that what we were saying was always true. That those who take the vaccine and continue to take it, and what you call double shot, and what you call it whatever booster,
second booster,
they still have what is the flu. And today, we see the result of how people are dead all over the place, and nobody do autopsy. Me got country every single week a funeral, and when me ask you that man take the vaccine.
So you're taking us on a tangent, but we're going to dial back now, right? Because what you're saying is this. Well, what I was saying to you, based on what you asserted that things are topsy-turvy in the United States, and therefore it behooves us as a country to be a bit more strategic. Jamaica is seeking to do more in relation to Canada, continental Europe, and I made mention of the Emirates and Dubai for that precise reason. More people coming to Jamaica.
Has nothing to do with growing the economy.
So the airlift into Jamaica will not serve to grow the economy?
Let me just tell you. Let me just say this, Marlon. The people who are working in the tourist industry today benefit nothing from tourism. Let me repeat, Jamaica. They are still they are still getting their little salary. What let me just tell you now. And $1,000 was put on, which is disrespect to the workers in the tourism industry. $1,000, and it is tax. And notice you did the same thing about Lambert. You know, you talk about everybody else and how they come yesterday morning, but you know, Lambert is really Gina Jennings.
Al, I'm going to ask you to just pause for a minute, right?
Yes.
You mentioned that nothing is happening. Have you ever heard of the tourism workers pension that is now on stream in addition to housing for tourism workers? Have you heard of those two things? Because just before you respond, the reason I'm putting them to you is that I can understand that the brief that you preoccupy yourself with, it is just laden with all kinds of negatives and Jamaica burning down.
No, it doesn't.
It has nothing positive in it.
Senator Marlon, yesterday I was going by the University at the West Indies.
Yes.
And I passed over 3,000 people in the line. I tried to go to America, and it's a daily thing. I go to work. Well, and we don't talk about that, you know. All the profession, I go interview them yesterday.
When Mr. Simpson was Prime Minister, we didn't have people in lines at the embassy.
In a country where prosperity is said and everything is rosy, 3,000 people in the line at Borneo yesterday. Watch me.
I should have 6,000.
The day before 4,218 were there. And right through the week until Friday, over some 22,000 people in the line that try to go every week in the month.
22,000 should have been 44,000, and 6,000 should have been 12,000.
So all of the picture we are trying to paint.
Yeah.
I know Jamaica is a country where them people love if they have a nice house and a nice car and they have a nice job, they want to stay and they want to run going on no icebox. But because nothing,
Al, you don't know that Jamaicans, we like the idea of going to enjoy ourselves. We go to America to shop, touch base with family and friends and so on, and we just get a change of scenery. Many may elect to stay there, but many, considerably more, elect to come back home to them job and so on, because what they went to the rest of the do was a visit, a trip.
Nobody want to go to a place to reside where racism and classism and narcissism, right? Especially now. And people are close them border and people are tell you, say, well, watch out. Since morning, a United States Minister of Health declare how much 100,000 people must come lay off. So don't educate me about geopolitics and international politics up here. In America, the amount of people that lay off under Trump could have full India. Unless, so where the money is going to come from to come here when America don't have money to come here? Our remittance go down and our tourism go down. What are we doing to grow the economy, Senator Marlon Morgan? That
because the idea is...
down. What are we doing? Nothing. Our project 0.1%.
But you ask a question and I answer the question at the same time. Just hold on a man. When the government is focusing attention, as it is now, on irrigation to ensure that we boost considerably domestic agricultural production by bringing more arable lands into production, by supporting it with the requisite infrastructure and building out cold storage facilities to better support our farmers, will those things contribute to increased GDP?
Let me understand. I'm a farmer, if you don't know. I come from Southeast.
You're a farmer, you're a tailor, you're a barber. I'm sure you're everything.
Well, Marlon, I can hear this. I feed. We just got the farm store I told you about. Hear me?
Cool. You bought any fertility?
Hold on, man. We just talk. I have cabbage, I have lettuce, I have sweet pepper.
You bought any Liza?
Hold on, man. Hold on. You going to give me some? Marlon.
Me ask you if you bought any.
Just the other day, the Southeast St. Elizabeth, here, Mr. Green, I talk about how much $1 million is spent.
Yeah.
The farmers are asking which part is that money spent.
Okay.
Let us get the idea. I went to a farmer Sunday in Southeast, and the farmer, I don't want to call it the rather man name who's down there.
Sure.
The rather man telling the people them down there, say, a farming no color. It's not supposed to know no color. It's supposed to just people just who want to farm from and the rather license thing. The man said, the party kill a man. Whenever he go there, in farm thing that it expire, and him go and apply for it, all 1 year get it. And that rather man down there is just playing politics, and it's only JLP people in catering for in the farming industry. That's what he told me Sunday. I mean, I have no reason to any lie. He said the man tell the other man and said they mustn't stop for that yard and the yard and the yard.
Al, hear me for a minute now. Hear me for a minute now. No man, hold on, Al. Just hear me for a minute. Remember, we want to have a conversation, right?
Yeah.
That's because you're very entertaining, quite frankly, and this makes for good morning radio.
I'm very objective. That's what
hold on, man. I don't know about that part there. I am running a radio program. News Talk is in broadcast, and at a minimum, it should be edutaining people, and you are very entertaining, and you know what I am.
No, right? I'm very objective. Anyway,
I'm going to put this to you. I'm going to put this to you because I heard Comrade calling in yesterday about some allegations in relation to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security as it relates to post-burial relief. Now, what I will say to... Hold on, man. We don't finish it, man. I don't finish the intervention. What I am commending to you and Comrade is that if ever and whenever you have evidence to support any claim you make, kindly come forward with the evidence as opposed to just basically spewing an allegation an allegation in respect of which you, in my view, have no supporting evidence.
Right,
so when you're saying that about the radar man, video the radar man going to the yard, them we have JLP flags up.
What you should have done is to bring the conversation between Lawrence or Answer and the mayor. You have not done that, but you have 5 press conferences. I can get you all that instituting what you do. But you know, you're talking about this man of the world. Hear this now.
Do you know that they were exported WhatsApp files?
What you should have done is to get Lawrence Rowe in dialogue, communicating with the mayor and Dayton. But you hear one voice and you run have 5 minutes. Anyway, but you never hear. But now you have put me on an assignment. The brightest man of the world to go to file up for rather. It's either you believe something or you don't. Well, hear this, I go talk about Beryl. And he will come and ask you 2 questions you first answer. Middle country, Sunday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And hear this, And a brother house will blow down. And the house that blow off about 5 people in the district. And me ask everything to fix it yet. There's a fix one. The people them come down from the staff soldier and some people from labor. And they take the people in name. And until today, and guess what? When them to Santa Cruz, they hear so the money pay, the check pay, and them not get none. And that is what is happening, Marlon.
So you believe,
that is what is happening.
Hold on, restating the point doesn't increase the value of what you have said. So watch me now.
That is what is happening.
Yeah, man. So you have just, hold on, a discussion time again, man. Hold on, you have just asserted something, right? No, think about it. Your roof is off, and you look up in the sky at daytime, and you look up in the stars at night time. Watch me now.
And you still look up in it.
Hold on. Watch me now.
A family yard in there. A family yard in there until today.
Hold on for a moment, Al. Just a moment, right? You believe that family could have come across the information you are alleging that they came across at Santa Cruz to say resources intended for them was somehow collected by other people or diverted to other people, and that don't come to national prominence, whether via TVJ or even the Star? Yes, sir. But no, man, I'm talking to you, the brightest man in the world.
I was one of the Caribbean best investigators. So you're not talking to the other human being.
All right, you're what, corporal or sergeant? What did you leave the force at? At what rank did you leave the force, Al? Yes, super. I'm listening.
You're talking about responsibility. You live in one of the most corrupt countries on the planet.
Oh?
Jamaica is. Yes.
Who made it so? Was it Pattis who made it so? Or Davies?
Well, talk over me. If you talk over me, I will continue talking. Transparency International.
Yeah.
Tell us. And then you have to tell me. But because me know.
Who calls it? PJ or Omar?
We are very conservative in terms. We should be at the #1 most corrupt country in the world, but we talk what is? Let me just say this.
Oh, so that's what you want? You want for Jamaica to be the #1 most corrupt country?
Ministry of Education, by which you were. You find out the deception with the chairman of certain areas and board and former minister and permanent secretary and find out why they investigate.
Al, you ever hear the term, let the chips fall where they may?
Find out why these permanent secretaries...
Yeah, man, I hear you. But this is what I'm saying now. Have you ever heard the term, Al? Al, have you ever heard the term, let the chips fall where they may? So in other words, if there is, pause a bit again. If there is any malfeasance, any irregularity in any area of government, the competent authorities should go in and do what you used to do as a hard-working member of the JCF, Al. Yes? Which is to detect that, investigate, and hold the people to account. Marlon Morgan can't stand in the way of that, nor do I propose, Al, to stand in the way of that.
Let me ask you this, Marlon.
Yes, sir.
When legislators of the law in Jamaica go to Parliament and pass law, and pass law about enrichment, and pass law about corruption, and when other people being investigated, they laugh, but when them come, then try to change. When the law reach up with them, then try to change it to court.
No,
How
man.
do you do that set of people like that?
Do you appreciate?
Heard what I'm saying. I don't believe that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you've just asked a question, so allow me to answer, right?
Yes.
Do you appreciate that all of us are subject to Jamaican law? Is that a fact?
No. You're not going to put that one across. No, with some of us, only some of us. Me as a black man.
All right,
me as a poor man.
let me move to
man.
another matter. Do you appreciate, yes, that to the extent that a person believes that a report that has found adversely against them and is injudicious to them, they have remedy available at their disposal, such as
I agree with that,
a court action? Okay, so now that happen, man.
Yes, because you heard that, you know that what you were doing at Portmore was wrong. But yes, you proceed in the court. We'll have no, but you lose. Every time
how can you proceed in the court? How can you proceed in the court when it was the PNP who brought the legal action, Al?
The very intrusive need that was so intrusive at taking people Eilish and then Bottom and whatever was so intrusive when you know. But yes, you go to court and you lose. You go to state of emergency, you know, so it was taking away the right of the people. You still go to court.
Al, I'm going to ask you to pause. I'm going to ask you to pause a minute. Just pause a moment. NIDS, contrary to what persons like yourself and other surrogates of the PNP have been erroneously banning about the place, NIDS did not seek to take anybody's rectal anything. Retina was confused some time ago with the word rectum.
No,
and that is what created that mischief.
Retina and rectum, Marlon. I have to see the farm. Pastor this one again.
You have every farm, man. Greenwich farm you have to. Tamarind farm.
Hold up, somebody will disrespect you on that, man. I'm not senator.
No, man, I'm just being facetious. I'm not being disrespectful.
All of that is my friend. You know, so many are talk nice this morning. I'm going to you now,
yeah.
When you're talking to a man at my level,
yeah.
I have been here.
That's why I'm asking what level you were. You were DSP or sergeant of police.
It's like you would have come tell the country of Jamaica how the JLP is the best manager. When you see I got a deficit of 262. When you forget that.
See, I got a deficit of 262.
When I think I tell what drop off aisle, Shalman Scott will tell you, the man must be run up and down to can't get the money for the aisle man, them selling all, let have no money. Let have no aisle until they collect. Because you have what you call repo rate at the Bank of Jamaica, they buy on the black market dollars and can't get none. After you just destabilize our country in the 1970s, you know, 80 now, you have your script to pick up $2. Be careful of what you sow, because you shall reap. Marlon, my friend, you see life, it is all about doing good, and that good that you do will follow and live after you. Don't do bad because you want to have power and get power and retain power. Do what is good, and when you do what is good, the people will see that the goodness that you do will live after you.
No, man, we're not finishing. We're finishing at 11 o'clock. We're at 10:55, so we have 5 more minutes of reasoning.
All right, my friend.
Top level reasoning, listen up.
Yes.
You said do good, and yes, earlier you made mention about the JLP being wicked and so on, right?
Yes.
Did you see the image across your device coming out of Sunday where Bobby Pickersgill and KD Knight, well, Pickersgill was the person videoed, was making his way to the stage in Barbican Square?
Yes.
Do you not think that the optics of that was just most horrible politically?
Well, I don't know if it's horrible. I don't know if you saw the image of Mr. Seaga. Watch me. Going across to West and Western St. Mary and Eastern St. Mary and in order to talk about the JLP for them.
Yeah.
When they at 5 man have lift him up. I don't know if you saw that.
5 man.
I don't know if you saw Mike Henry recently and how they have to put him into a lift and a trailer in order to drop him off on the stage. You know, when you're talking to the brightest man who studied in Egypt, you have to be careful.
Where you studied, Al? Where you studied? In Egypt?
Cairo, yes. And I've been with Pullman in Alexander. I've been to Alexander. I studied already Pullman in civilization.
Okay.
I study where civilization and where all humanity all began.
So you know about ancient Kemet and them thing there?
Right up to me for Euphrates.
Yeah, man.
Right down back to
Oh, so you're swimming at Euphrates and so?
Yeah, man, go on the Euphrates and them place in the rock, man, and them place they go watch and sit down, man. Go on the salt, what is the thing, the river, the sea.
So you're well traveled, Al, man. Your horizons are broad. You know about ancient Kemet and them place there?
Yes, man, Kemet and them something. You saw the past them something, them anthropology and them something.
So that's why you're the brightest man alive. I see.
Well, only 4 of us still alive in the past will understand those.
All right, so Al, let me ask you this now, my brethren. Let me ask you this now. So why didn't you apply some of that wisdom, some of that brightness that you have to help Marky G present proposals in the budget debate that were actually credible and
I'm
costed?
glad you went there. You see, in Jamaica,
Why
I
didn't
learned
apply
this.
the brightness in that way?
All right, you ask me to tell you.
Yeah.
Every proposal that the PNP came up with in the last 30 years, the JLP tried to shoot it down. And then they turn and took it. Well, listen to this. I hear you are the little marketing man, the marketing consultant, expert, talking about where the money is going to come from.
Yes,
It's not not bringing his money into the budget, you know. If the money is there, what he's going to do is to spend it in the areas by which
but that is a misunderstanding.
I give you time to talk.
Sure.
In the areas where the people are going to benefit. Watch me.
Yeah.
Mark Golding, my comedy leader.
It's a market, yeah.
When we put out Universal Access Fund, criticize it for how it has not benefit of.
All right, so let me put this there.
When we put out the Bill Stadium,
before you take us back to Stadium and then Norman Manley and so on, just pause for a moment. Hold on, man. Pause for a moment. Just pause for a moment.
I'm answering what Mark Golding said. What Mark Golding said, you're taking $11 billion from Housing Trust.
And him now going to take 11 billion.
You, Marlon, I saw you and the one when you after Fitzgerald at the court, Supreme Court, and China that he said we must not take the money.
You saw me at Supreme. I've never been to Supreme Court a day in my life. But you saw me.
The one you after Fitzgerald down there, I talk about why taking money from Housing Trust.
All right, Al, I just have a minute remaining, but I want to say this to you. Let's pause a moment, sir.
$111 billion from Housing Trust. When you say you should not take it,
just pause a moment, Al. Let's pause a moment, because you're waxing warm this morning. Anyway, let me say this to you, Al. The resources in the 2025-26 budget, the money, right, is all set and earmarked to do certain things. So Mark Golding, who is talking about discretionary spend, must tell the Jamaican people which. Hold on, man. We're not talking at the same time, man. Just hold on, my general. Mark Golding now has to tell Jamaica of the things that are slated to be done by this $1.2 trillion budget. Which of the something them him now go bother do in order to do what him a plan for come and do. It's a very simple concept, sir.
Let me answer.
Yeah, man, you have 20 seconds. 20 seconds, Al. Go ahead.
Right now, the government is giving away so much things. All Jamaica out them agree in order to buy vote. Watch me.
Oh, them agree Jamaica house.
Things that you know that is not.
Them agree a bun and cheese. They want any other bun and cheese? Next week is bun and cheese week.
Things that you're giving $20,000.
All right, we're up on the break. We're up on the NPR. I'll have to run here. Take it easy, my brother. And call me back at 11:30. Call back at 11:30.
Morning, brother Marlon.
Yeah, morning. Is this what? Fox?
Yes, Fox. Yeah, man.
Yes. Fox, not to be confused with the wolf. Me there. I'm good. How are things with you?
Yeah, well, we there. Still, we are going to the groundwork. You don't know we go.
Yes.
Third term loading.
You're from which community? You're from the East Rural St. Andrew area.
Yeah, man. The boss lady, you know.
Okay. What going on that side?
Yeah. Repeat again.
I said, what going on up that side? How are things up that side?
Well, we have things under control, man. Because Sunday we was at a meeting with the MP, you know.
Okay. Well, tell me about the community and national issues generally, not necessarily your political organization.
Marlon, the last time we talked, I tell you, the people might get their water and we are get the road. There's no doubt about that. The people up there, they are very hard working.
Yeah.
You understand? And
it's not the handout set of people.
No. You understand? So when you hear some people come and tell about issue and send to people, them love hands out. I can't tell you. Hard working people, let me begin. I just know it's a farming area.
Yeah.
Right now, Brother Marlon, you went up in any community, you hardly find any young man like her in a road. Everybody gone to work.
Okay, nobody now lurks around the place.
Right. And me tell you, the main important thing, Brother Marlon, that the people them want water and the road.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have a MP coming in the area, and I tell you, say, it's hands out mentality. To cut it out. To put people to work, we can turn up and prove that to you.
And when I say work, give my listeners a sense as to what kind of work.
Well, you don't know, it's farming area and thing, you understand? You have people who go on the farmer program, You understand? People
Yeah.
who are, people, you know, personally, people who want to work in the hotel industry, you know, you have some people go hard because the government don't make the pathway clear to people who go to heart. You understand? Me know personally, she send a lot of people away. And we call it tourist, the tourist, we call the program, man. We send the tourist, hotel workers.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, and whatever other issue, you understand? That people want, me I tell them it's always give them work to do. You understand? The people, you know, you have some people where you know, the education are there still, but you create a avenue, Marlon, that people can go on the road and go do construction work. You don't know?
Yes,
You
then
understand?
we
So
all right, tell me something in a couple minutes we have left, Fox. There's this vexing issue because, as you can appreciate, up in that east rural St. Andrew belt, it extends to as far as western Portland, sections of West Portland and sections of western St. Thomas in the Blue Mountain belt there. Coffee production and how coffee farmers are faring. Share with my listeners what the issue is in relation to that particular segment of the farming community.
All right. Me have some family in the coffee industry.
Yeah.
And I just last week I was on another program, you understand, with a host. And I was telling him that what a certain gentleman out of Portland,
it's the PNP's candidate, the PNP's standard bearer, designate for West St. Thomas Western.
Yes, man. And that man, and let me tell you something. You're talking about the coffee industry, my brethren.
Yeah.
The PNP, the People National Party, have used the coffee pricing as a political tool over the years. You understand? When they well know that nothing goes on, you know, he starts about it. How hard you want to hear the farmer, senator, the Norman Grant to come out and tell the people any truth. You understand? Government not set coffee price, Marlon. You understand? And you know, you have some people, and me not call nobody no fool because people is people and you have to respect people's views.
Yes.
While we out here who know the thing, we have to try to say to them, no, my brethren, don't make the PMP then come and kick, you know. And it has been a talking point over the years.
All right, so let me just use a couple 20 seconds or so to apprise the listeners of something.
Yeah.
Coffee farmers, many of them are disgruntled and complaining that what they are fetching per box in terms of the price paid to them per box for their coffee after their hard work and considerable investment is, you know, very low. It is nowhere near what it ought to be in their view, and that this matter is becoming a contentious one, or has been for several years. So much so that in recent days, the PNP's candidate designate for St. Thomas Western, Hubert Williams is his name.
Yes.
Gave an undertaking which he's in no position to do, but it gives you a sense as to the misleading and despicable nature of some persons in terms of promising coffee farmers that they'll be getting $22,000 per box of coffee if he is elected as MP. He has no such capacity to do that, but he's seeking to fool up the people.
Yes, blatant lie, man. Right? And when the lie catch up on him, he want to disrespect a farmer, a read a house. You understand, my brethren? And they must stop it, my brethren. You know, Marlon.
Yeah, last point because we're trying to run to another caller. Go ahead, Fox.
Now go ahead, But we tell my PNP friend them say, if them in the PNP and the leaders them in the PNP, if they wholly be true to them in the next 2 or 3 votes. But Marlon, take care of yourself, my brethren. You see, Mark going around in the nursing home, they must take out the old people, but that's not going to help him to go over the finish line.
Which home we running at? The infirmaries and the nursing homes?
And the nursing home, I take out the old people to try to help him. But that's not going to help him, my brethren. We love
the elders. We love the elders and we want the best for them, right? So we don't want them carry them out in a night dew for them to catch up pneumonia.
Yeah, I'm going to fall down and their head or something.
Exactly. So leave the elders alone. A word to the wise is sufficient. Thanks for that, Fox.
What good, my brethren?
All the best. Good. we are going to seek to facilitate another call. Fox is, of course, alluding there to the appearance on the political stage in Northeast St. Andrew of former PNP chairman Bobby Pickersgill and, of course, a man who is a self-styled sheriff, KD Knight, on the campaign stump on the political stage, looking an absolute shadow of them, their former selves. Morning caller, welcome to Straight Up.
Good morning, Mr. Morgan. How are you?
Morning, sir. I'm good. This is South St. Catherine.
Yes, man.
How are things in your neck of the woods, sir?
Very bad. Very bad.
And this is on account of the MP that you are saying is perennially missing in action.
Yes, man. CBA was in Parliament yesterday
Mm-hmm.
talking about Mr. Morgan and
The Spark Roads issues, road issues, road work. Yeah. What was he saying? Because I'm seeing a lot of things where a whole heap of potholes in and around that main road there leading from where Price Mart is going up to further to Ascot and so on, and a host of other places.
That would need to be cleaned up, you know. I mean, paved. I don't know.
Like repaved. They're saying like it needs to be repaved.
Yeah. It is very bouncy.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those is just because of Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, I don't know what I'm saying, you know, because he was in Parliament complaining about roads and only his roads, I mean, his constituency, and that nobody not paying attention. And that is not true. That is not true. Mr. Jackson, he's a member of Parliament, and the same amount of money that allotted.
Exactly. So, sir, he can confirm he's a member of Parliament. Him get black tank to under black tank program whenever any program is on stream and being provided for members of Parliament. Mr. Jackson is one of the 63, and he gets as well.
Yeah,
in terms of Spark, as you know, there's a equity basis on which the Spark roads are being done. So, in other words, your allocation on the Spark is being driven by or predicated on the proportion of roads that you have, the network of roads that you have. So constituencies that have a higher density in terms of network of roads will be getting more of the spend on the Spark relative to their counterparts with less, in terms of the network of road quantity.
Mr. Jackson, as I said before, Mr. Jackson usually live in the area. But I don't know, he moved out into St. Andrew somewhere. And Mr. Jackson just, only election time, I see we're putting up a lot of posters around the constituency and saying that proven, he's what? Something proven and tested and proven. He's really tested and proven. I've been doing nothing.
So in your view, he's a proven and tested failure?
Proven and tested failure. Yes. Mr. Morgan, you see, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ali is too bright for the program, Ali used to be a police when Joe, what is it, former commissioner?
Joe? Who's that?
Joe,
because we know of
former commissioner, yeah.
Francis Forbes.
No,
we
man.
know of
that thing you never
Oh.
Joe Williams, man.
So it was a Williams, not Carl Williams, but a Williams of what? The 80s? What's his name?
Yeah, man. It's Joe Williams.
Joe Williams. And Joe Williams was what? Commissioner during the 80s or what? What was that period of time?
He was commissioner about 1982, 83, something coming up.
Oh, so Al was from that vintage.
Yes, Al is Joe Williams' buddy.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and Al,
so like Joe Williams, Al is somewhat of a relic.
Yes, from what I heard, Al was pushed out at the Jamaica Constable.
I see.
I'm not telling you. Yes, it's true, but
you are just asserting based on information that you have been made privy to. So that's essentially uncorroborated. That's just an allegation.
Yeah,
that
discipline and
yeah.
you understand? so I don't want to go too far on that.
Well, I asked him at what rank he left the constabulary. He elected to not answer that. He clearly don't want to touch on that. But by virtue of what he's saying, he was a prolific crime fighter, and as the brightest man in the world, you cannot imagine how much case Al would have solved. No wonder murders in the 80s moved from 800 and odd in terms of murder tally in 1980 calendar year to 400 murders basically by 1989.
Yes.
Because I was solving a lot of cases all across Jamaica.
You see, I don't give anybody time to talk. He's just too bright. You're not hearing nobody apart from him. You understand? And when he's on fireman, it's the same way in behave and things like that. I see a guy came on yesterday on Fireman Show and talking about Mrs. Williams, not from Ty Dixon.
Yeah, man, I spoke to that earlier this morning. And it's the same point I made this morning, South St. Catherine. I made the point that to try and impugn Favor's nativity in terms of where she was born and how she grew up and so on, it will not, I don't see how that will be scoring any political points, because the truth is, as big people, oftentimes when you see little youth in a community, yes, you might, depending on how close you are to the people and the family, you may know that, yes, this is them daughter, Michelle, and so on. But the point Country was making yesterday, Country, I gather, lives now in the United States. The point he was making yesterday is that he has checked in with a few people from Ty Dixon, and none of them don't know about this Favor Williams lady.
But I am from the country, and it's the same thing, because I don't know the people the young people, because the older people, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So when I went there, they going to say, who you be again? Who you be? I said, go.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have to tell them about your generation. In other words, your ma so-and-so granddaughter, you remember ma so-and-so who used to have the farm store, blah, blah, or Teacher Jackson, or you tell them, say, yeah, man, you remember Teacher Francis? That was my grandmother. You have to explain yourself that way.
Even that guy from Cambridge there, Comrade. That guy who I know well.
Oh, from Cambridge and St. James. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yes, he's from Cambridge. I think he's from bottom Cambridge.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Hello?
Yeah, man, I'm with you. Because you're referring to Cambridge and St. James.
Cambridge and St. James.
Because, Comrade operates out of Western Jamaica. Calls into several programs, including this one, and of course, RJR's hotline.
Yes, which is lies and things like that. He don't tell you about the good things that is happening in Cambridge, because there's a clinic near Mr. Marlon that's just opened by the Minister of Health, Mr. Morgan.
Oh yes, under the Operation Refresh Initiative.
Yes, man.
You're saying a refurbished clinic in that space?
Yes.
But Comrade now go come and talk about that, right?
No.
Well, at a political meeting some years ago, caller, Damian Crawford, notwithstanding some of the off-base things that he says, he said something that is instructive and enduring to this very day. He described the PNP supporters as having two eyes. You know what the two eyes are?
Yes, I was listening. About that, but
he described them as having a good eye and a bad eye.
Yeah.
And what he said is that the PNP supporters, when them ready, them have a way of locking down them good eye. So they close them good eye and look only through their bad eye.
Yeah.
So quite frankly, nothing good that is happening in their community or in and around them in the country, they will observe or take note of. So like Al, for example, they don't wish to acknowledge and celebrate the fact that airlift, a flight, will be coming to Montego Bay from Dubai. What they are preoccupying themselves with and what they have told themselves is that, well, the ordinary man in the tourism sector, the ordinary stakeholder will not be getting any business. How can you say that definitively?
Concern about the aircraft that is coming. Concern about people going to get jobs, people going to get them things up and running and things like that.
Because, a part of the strategy is to try and create mischief around the things that are happening in the country. We know that when a guest comes here, there's no guarantee in a market economy that the person is going to come and buy a donut from you, or the person is going to come and buy a Rastafarian scarf from craft vendor X in the craft market there in Montego Bay. However, because we operate in a market economy, what we're saying is that the more traffic we get coming our way, yes, the more people pass through the place, is the more likely we are to realize a sale. Because if you operate a stall in a plaza, or if you have a shop in a community and 0 person pass through the community, how much sales are you likely to make? 0 person pass through, so it must be 0 sales. But if 1 million person pass through, relative to 0, you must have the likelihood of sales in that context being increased relative to if it were 0 or a very low number like 1,000 compared to 1 million. So that's the point we're making when we talk about tourists and airlift, because we know that there are many dependents, many persons who benefit from our tourism product, not just those who are directly employed at hotels, and not those who operate big hotels, but boutique hotels, EP type hotels, yes, people who sell at the craft market, people who provide ground transportation services. All of these people benefit from our tourism product. So although they may not like it, they should not and cannot diminish the value of airlift, increased airlift coming into Jamaica.
Same to Mr. Morgan. And finally, Mr. Morgan.
Yes, sir.
Good things are happening, not to mention in Greater Pomo here. The health center, the A-type health center, will be going up. Everything fenced round and tractors over there, marking out and things like that.
Okay, this is our health center?
Yes, man. In Greater Pomo by shopping center.
Oh, across the road from the shopping center.
That is a hospital itself, you know, going up, you know.
So you're saying based on the capacity that it will have, we know that it won't be a hospital, but it will be a first-rate health center.
First-rate health center, just like even better than Cambridge.
All right, better than Comrades Health Center in Cambridge. All right, well noted. Thank you for your. All right, thank you for your perspective this morning, South St. Catherine. We're gonna run to the break and come back with more of your calls here on Straight Up.
Good morning, Senator Morgan.
Good morning. This sounds like Carl.
Yes, please.
Yeah, man.
I heard one of your colleagues from the Senate this morning.
Elsewhere in Radio Land.
Right. Really put Dawes back into his space, which Dawes need a space, but Dawes doesn't understand. PMP have never built a hospital in Jamaica. Never.
Yeah.
And for Dawes to be supporting the PMP government, where if I never Jamaica Labour Party and India have in a hospital, PMP wouldn't build one that Dawes could have be a doctor in a hospital. Hold on upon that Dawes. And for Dawes now to come and every minute Dawes is being criticizing the health sector. Dawes need to tell us what happened when he was the head of the Westmoreland, the Savlamar Hospital, when he did have cut a soap in a 6-piece plus candle bags that spread around him. And now,
you mean those candle bags that were being used as personal protective equipment, aprons, basically.
And Dawes did complain about it. And now look at our health center. The prosperity when you look Spanish Town, a build hospital, Westmoreland a fix up hospital. When you look out for the Cornwall Regional Hospital, I'm from St. Elizabeth. And when you used to go down Long Hill, it looked like the Cornwall Regional Hospital with a job up a Long Hill, so it did look like that turnover. And Dawes party was there for 18 and a half years plus 4, like 22 and a half years. And they never tried to fix it. So Dawes, step aside and go looking at yourself. That's what Dawes need to do. Anyhow, just want to remind you, sometimes, Senator, you have to waste your time with some people. We say them are talk show host belong. You know, for waste your time. Now waste your time with them. Then they have nothing to offer to Jamaica more than the destruction. Nothing to offer to Jamaica. And I will tell both him and Dawes that the only reason why so much things can be doing in Jamaica today is because of the debt Dawes and the other one there. The debt come down, so it free up a lot of money, Dawes, that it can fix hospital, it can build police station in Westmoreland, it can build park over Portmore. That's all Fix Jackson run up and down and I put up a whole heap of posters. Oh, look, Mr. Morgan, when last you take a drive in a Fix Jackson constituency, he was inside the parliament complaining yesterday. Says Mr. Morgan has sabotaged him.
Yeah.
You see the condition?
Yeah, man, we know that a number of roads are in a state of disrepair.
Right.
I gather his advocacy and presence as MP in terms of his effectiveness and impact in correcting issues and getting things done leave much to be desired in the constituency. Much
to be desired. And tell Fix Jackson also whether him like it, because I heard him Friday or one of them I was in a parliament yesterday also, and mislead the parliament. When a judge listed a state Fix Jackson that he did it, him give the government a free hand now, Jackson, to carry out his mandate. So I can't see how you can say you win, Jackson. I can't understand you. The government lifts whatever they carry in the court and give the government a free hand now to continue to do whatever them they do. Return Portmore in our parish. I don't know how Jack. I heard him Friday evening with this foolishness. See somebody will say them have brain. But if them they have brain, no wonder why the PMP in so much mess.
Indeed.
Because the brain is not thinking through the PMP. But if all the leader can tell you last week Wednesday that him never have nothing to do with FinSac.
Yeah, no role
Mr.
with FinSac.
Will live in
which doesn't accord with what the literature suggests.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes, sir.
Senator Morgan, when I heard the man last week Wednesday evening, I know that me was one of the person who get a beating in the FinSac business.
Yeah, for shake head.
I couldn't shake my head. I sit down inside my vehicle and I wonder if I gold in attack. Because farmer, when he am Greg Christie, they tell we say, them Monday, the British citizen, the white British citizen man, went into a sweetheart deal with the PMP administration. I don't know what a sweetheart deal means. Maybe you need to explain it to me then, Mr. Morgan.
The contractor general made the observation that the arrangement between the government of the day, the Omar Davies-led finance ministry and the PJ Patterson-led government, and the Mark Golding and Peter Bunting-led DBNG, they entered into what he described as highly irregular arrangements. Highly irregular and corruption enabling. I think those were the exact words used.
Okay. And can you remember what the conscious white boy did tell us?
That's what he had no role in FinSac.
Him come to drink milk, not to count cow. And him born is the biggest transfer of resources from the poor to the rich
made the point,
that him ever see happen to the poor people of Jamaica.
Since slavery.
Take away the tax and give it to a rich man.
All right. Thank you for that perspective this morning, Carl. Duly noted. All right. We're going to take another call. Remember, listeners, we are taking your calls. If you're trying to call in and one number goes unanswered, it's because the call that is actually on air is on that phone. So we have two lines. Try either of the two. 212 9824, and there's also 4620919. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Marlon Morgan.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. This is Country. Yes, Country out of the United States.
Good morning, Jamaica, and good morning to your producer.
And good morning to Ty Dixon, where Fiverr Williams don't come from.
And good morning to Damian Crawford, Northwest St. Catherine.
You want to say good morning to Ty Dixon, please?
Good morning to Northwest St. Catherine. Ty Dixon include. The minister
Very well.
did not live no time of her life in Ty Dixon.
And how many votes do you win when you make that point?
No, the minister is not truth. I'm not winning no votes. I'm just telling the truth.
All right, Country. Based on the Fiverr Williams that I know, and it would be perhaps good for her to provide evidence, as it were, of what she's asserting, to the extent that people like Country will not, take her at her word or find reason to impugn what she has said. But just to be very clear, the Fiverr Williams that I know is someone who wouldn't lie about where she was raised, essentially. She spoke of attending a certain Seventh-day Baptist church in that space. She spoke to having attended school at the Ty Dixon, some school in Ty Dixon, and then she left to board with people close to where she was situated at high school, because she was one of those persons who, via the common entrance, got a place at what we consider Country, one of the traditional high schools, that being Ferncourt High School, where she did her high school years.
But I am telling you, there is no record of her living.
And the 80-year-old woman where they don't know who you ask, they don't remember. All right, when Pitney they are Country, do you remember the 80-year-old lady where you are talking about, Country? Yeah. May have been a 20-year-old when Fayetteville did a 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 answer, right? All right, or a 30-year-old. Watch me now. When Fayetteville, they among her siblings, as youth in a community run up and down and pick things off a tree, probably broke people cane root and a fool around as kids, right? You believe people remember necessarily each person by name and know, say, all right, if they aren't close to the family in particular, you believe that you'll remember every child, especially that child from that stage to what they are now in terms of a 60-year-old adult?
Mr. Marlon Morgan.
Yes, sir.
Every person that I go with school with in class 1, I still remember their name.
Me too.
Every person in my
But I talk about the 80-year-old, the lady where you say you touch base with from Ty Dixon.
And I touch base with a next lady. She's in her late 50s.
Yeah.
And I
how should you remember Fayetteville? Sir, Fayetteville is 67 years old. Country, Fayetteville Williams is age 67.
Charles Wilkes is right there in the community operator grocery shop. Right where she sell things under the tree.
Country. If me are 67 and somebody are 50 odd, so when me are 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and me there at Ty Dixon as a youth I go school at the primary level, how somebody when not born yet if you will know me?
I check wide, yes. But I check other
a wonderful piece of comrade logic, eh?
Charles Wilkes. I can tell you Charles Wilkes operator shop right here. He's a 7-day Adventist. He does not know faith.
You heard I said 7-day Baptist though, right? Anyway, but that is not the germane point. Tell me 2 things, Country, from the budget that you consider to be a positive. 2 things the government has listed or announced. You're not here to talk about the budget. You just want, you're here to talk about Fayetteville not being from Ty Dixon.
Fayetteville is not telling the truth.
So Fayetteville is a counterfeit.
You said it, not me.
Well, she's still not going to cease being finance minister.
That's okay. What the king is doing here in America, the embattled the prime minister or your finance minister, did not mention anything if it is gonna be a positive to Jamaica or a negative to Jamaica economy.
So why you not ask Mark Golden if you go on thing there? If you go on mention whether it will be a negative or a positive.
He's not the prime
Well,
minister.
watch me now, country. What you're saying a while ago is not true. I heard the finance minister, she would have been speaking elsewhere in Radioland last evening during their drive time evening program, yes? And she made mention of the challenging situation in the United States, particularly the tariff wars, the inflationary pressures that is likely to stoke, and of course, the opportunities it will create and present for Jamaica in terms of import substitution and people in Jamaica, in light of inflationary pressures on imports, people of Jamaica resorting more to our locally produced item. So some of the things that many of us here in Jamaica would like to place on our table, including at breakfast time, for example, full breakfast cereals, in my view, we should be going the route of our roasted and peeled breadfruit. I will cook up saltfish and ackee, for example. Saltfish is an imported item, yes, but we have our ackee that is from here in Jamaica.
I did hear the Prime Minister say the citizens of Jamaica can come back and pick ackee and eat ackee.
The citizens of Jamaica can come. No, well, I suppose the Prime Minister is mentioning, yes, our highly sought after and our highly revered orchard crops, because as you know, even when you there find this country, you know, so the things them that we cultivate here so taste better than the things them you are eat over there, so especially in terms of some of those bland and tasteless products from other jurisdictions, like some places in Central America where the mango not taste nowhere as nice as our mango. Huh?
That's true, but what I'm saying,
yes, sir,
the remittance is not gonna flow, and people are not gonna travel. You're not gonna get a lot of tourists because a lot of people have been laid off, lost their jobs, and a lot of people gone into hiding. That will negative affect the old lady in Moko, the old lady in Portland, in St. Catherine, we're up in Tidexon.
Oh, so that is all technically correct. In other words, based on what I am describing and what I consider topsy-turvy developments in the United States, especially the whole notion and specter of trade wars, which will have certain devastating implications for U.S. trading partners, including Jamaica, although it will create opportunities for Jamaica on the Jamaican export side, because our goods into the U.S., to the extent that there is no tariff on it, compared to the additional tariffs Trump is putting on other goods, our goods will be cheaper and therefore maybe more viable in the U.S. market than goods from Canada, for example. However, we do accept that generally the kind of unpredictability and the instability that now characterizes the U.S. as a space does not bode well, it does not augur well for states like Jamaica, which is very susceptible to certain exogenous shocks. So you're spot on in that regard, country. What I'd like to say to you, however, though, is that I notice a kind of a fixation with you guys who are PNP supporters and surrogates with the things that are negative and anything that resembles a dark cloud. Why is that? You know, as I was driving here this morning, country, as I was driving here this morning, country, you know who I passed on Half-a-Tree Road, or who passed me rather? I made my way from Beachwood Avenue onto Half-a-Tree Road, and just in the vicinity rather of National Bakery and Texaco, which is across the road from National, I saw passing me in a white Toyota Fielder motor car with windows wound down, one Ralston Hyman. And I said, look at him now. Look at him. Proceeding down to the Glen and Power 106, I would imagine. So the question I'm asking is this. what is it about negativity and the supposed dark clouds that fascinates you guys?
Listen, if a storm, this is like a pregnancy is coming, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If a storm is coming,
Yeah.
you must prepare. And these are negative things is coming to affect not
Oh,
only
I don't say name me one positive things which is coming.
one positive out of this, what the king I do. I ain't seen no positive come out of it.
All right, call me back tomorrow, country. We could talk some more. I'm trying to facilitate
Okay.
another call, my brother. All right, so. All right, well, I gather we've lost that call. Lines are available, callers. Do call and let us discuss matters through to the end of the program. 212-9824-462-0919. So we are taking your calls up to midday. All right, 212-9824, and there's also 462-0919. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Straight Up.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Morgan.
Well, not quite afternoon where we are. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, man, what's on your mind this morning, Chief?
Yeah, would I like to... Is Jamaica under recession?
The answer is N-O, sir. The two-letter word. N-O, no.
No.
Because, and just to be clear, caller, a recession is characterized as significant downturn in economic activity. Can you point to me or produce any indication as to what would constitute significant downturn in economic activity here in Jamaica? Like you say unemployment are going in droves. You see people being laid off of jobs because nothing are going. You see people being sent home here in Jamaica.
There is no growth in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah, so there's no growth in the last 2 quarters on account of the passage of Beryl and Tropical Storm Raphael. However, caller, the economic outturn is not the only thing you look at when you're considering the degree to which a country is in recession. You look at a number of other things and take a number of other things into consideration, not least what is happening in relation to
did income affect the whole of Jamaica?
Jobs and so on. Yeah, man, go ahead, sir. You're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that did Beryl affect the whole of Jamaica?
That is correct, sir. Some areas more so than others, as you'd appreciate. You see, in the weeks after Beryl, the people in St. Mary were grappling with the restoration of electricity, yes, and were inconvenienced by the dislocation in relation to electricity supply from the JPSCO, in as much as the people in St. Elizabeth were. Any other thing on your talking point brief there?
Yeah, next thing on my talking point. Do you think it's tax run Jamaica, don't?
That is correct, sir.
Yeah. So do you think one should owe $1.2 billion worth of tax or a radio station?
Yeah, we say Nationwide owes 1.2 billion in taxes.
Yeah. Do you think something like that should happen in a real country?
So we're no longer Rico, we're a plastic country. All right, so the idea is this, my brother, as I run to another call. You see, the things that you call to weigh in on is a very useful indicator of how horrible things are with the parliamentary opposition, because they're clutching at things that will be winning them zero votes.
Real country, 1 billion.
Yeah.
Is that 1,000 million make a billion?
All right. Thanks for your call, sir. We're trying to squeeze in at least another call before the end of the program. Call tomorrow again. Please do. 9:35 tomorrow morning, caller. I take calls from, No P, PNP, and JLP. All right? Good. Back with you on the phone lines. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Straight
Senator,
Up. Yes,
Senator
yes, sir,
Marlon.
Al. Greetings,
Yes,
Sir
Senator. I
July.
just want to conclude the program with saying this, asking you this.
Yeah, man, sure.
I was in the country the weekend, and I was all over the place. And I noticed a whole lot of people. It was the last day for the electoral office to open on Saturday.
Yeah, man, the last day on
I
Saturday.
saw a swarm of people.
In orange shirts going to
Yes,
enumerate.
no, man, hold on. I don't know about no orange shirts. I don't want to know people in orange shirts. I see people at the electoral office. And then as I investigate, I went up to find out.
But hold on a
I
second.
but I don't finish
You soon come back and finish, man. What I'm saying to you is that because of the things in the budget, the things that the government announced, including, of course, the NHT ceiling increases and so on, that caused them to be clamoring to go and enumerate.
You wanted to roll the wicked with bright people like me to set the agenda when I talk to you. You don't do that to me.
Where's it?
You want to
roll
roll
the wicked, Alman.
Well, hear me now. You know what the people are telling me?
Yes, sir.
That this crowd when you see out here is a time come crowd to get out. That's what I'm saying.
A time alone or Skellen was there too?
Yeah, I saw Tapanara. Well, let me tell you. When he called me, I saw him. My man was at the gas station with Williamsfield at all. Let me tell you, yes. Hear me now.
You saw who? Tapanara. You mean Papanana?
Papanana, yes, sir.
Great Papanana. All right.
Well,
Cool.
Papanana, I saw. Hear me. So these electoral offices, and when I made call a certain Mary East and West all about, they said it came to that place. Whenever people are comfortable, they stay as it is because then people are comfortable with what they have. When people are comfortable and run by electoral office.
Tell me something. Which area is this you are in? Were you in South Manchester?
I thought you want to find out so that you can spend some money like Elon Musk.
No, man, what I'm saying, Al, which area this you were referring to?
I am not going to tell you because I know Elon Musk operator was in Wisconsin, but he lose with all the money he spent.
Oh, I see.
So hear me, when you talk to brilliant men like we're politically astute, you have to understand, ask the question around here and believe to get the answer you demand. All of these people say nothing, I said it to Marlon.
Yes, sir.
People are all over, so let's conclude by saying all constituency.
All constituency. So why is it that I gather a certain gentleman is running out of South Manchester, looking elsewhere because the prospects in South Manchester look
not
bleak?
That single thing that goes so. A matter of fact, that person who you might alluding to, I have him to win by about 3,800.
All right, you have him to win. I'm sure you have had many horses to win in your lifetime, and I'm sure you have lost many a bet.
Fine. My loss doesn't mean a defeat.
You have lost many a bet. All right, I have to leave it here this morning, though, Al. Call back tomorrow, 9:35. The lines tomorrow.
Marlon, before you leave, I supported Arsenal in other field.
All right, respect. Big up yourself, Arsenal. Big up yourself, Al.
Arsenal will win.
Yeah, man. All the best,
All right,
brother. We have come to the end of the program. I want to thank our guests for today and all our callers and contributors. I want to thank our broadcast technician, Tiny Richards, and our producer as well. To advertise with us.